This is our 300 series Land Cruiser, which 2 weeks ago we just finished modifying and building. So we thought, let's take it out to the sand dunes and see what happens. And I tell you what, it does not go to plan.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Proudly supported by Adventure Kings. After the first 48 hours here in Tasmania and exploring some of the mainland, it was time to get into some of the biggest touring locations you can get to and off-roading destinations in Tasmania. Last episode, we had found a perfect spot right on the secluded river in the middle of the Tasmanian bush on the central northern parts of the island. Taking the 300 and camper trailer for the first time through a creek crossing, camping up on the rocks, it was now time to leave, head to the east coast and get into some of the fun and action and some of the best oceanic views you can find to camp next to the Bay of Fires.
Righto guys, what a first introduction to Tasmania. We got a great secluded campsite last night. Sam, you got to take the 300 for its first water crossing. He also got his first freshwater fish, and we got to see some platypuses along the way as well, which is just a great way to start an introduction to Tasmania.
So, plan of attack today, we are heading over to the east coast of Tasmania. For those that don't know, there's a place called the Bay of Fires along the coastline there. It's really known for its blue water, red rocks. It has that bit of Western Australia Exmouth or Esperance vibe to it. So we're going to go over there for the next 3 or 4 days, and we're going to be testing the 300 for the first time, also on the sand dunes over there at a place called the Prawn Sand Dunes.
We have just gotten to the Bay of Fires, so we're looking around at different campsites. There's about 10 campgrounds around this area. It's going to be a little bit interesting for us because we do have a camper trailer and they do say get here before 11 if you want to secure a spot. Yeah. So we're just going to look around, see what there is, and hopefully snag us a killer spot on the beach.
Yeah, because the biggest thing is that you can't actually book this prior to arrival. It's first in, first served. So you're literally just going to go around to them, see if you can find something yourself and pull in.
Now guys, the 3 beaches that we decided to look in and around the Bay of Fires, because we don't have to book them, we got in nice and early before 11 o'clock, and the best ones that we found within the 15-kilometre radius along the coastline there was Jarranet Beach Camp, Swim Cart Beach and Cozy Corner. We went and had a look at all of them, found the best one which we thought was Swim Cart Beach.
All 10 campsites along the east coast of Tasmania, and I think we've used up all our luck because we've snagged ourselves a killer spot here on the east coast.
I know, it's so bloody exciting. We literally spent like 1.5 hours like leaving our camper trailer at different spots. We're like, oh no, this one's better. We went back to that one, got here, and we have literally found ourselves right along the shoreline of Swim Cart Beach, which was my #1 spot that we were looking up on Wikicamps. And then we found our way in through new tracks as well. And we are going to be spending the next 4 nights here, basically along the crystal blue water of the east coast of Tasmania. It doesn't really get much better than this.
We wake up and we'll have a window of the ocean, and also when we're eating or out here, it's going to be prime condition.
We are literally about to take the 300 out for the first time to the Prawn Sand Dunes and give it a crack out there and see how it holds up. Well, after doing the last little final touches of setting up our campsite of the camper trailer, it was absolutely incredible just to sit back and relax for a couple of hours and enjoy the absolute ripper of a camp spot we got before we detached from the camper trailer and we took the 300 the next morning off for the big test on the Prawn Sand Dunes.
There you go, you got the little one.
So we have just left the wonderful Bay of Fires, and I tell you what, the water there is absolutely gorgeous. We got like the best camp spot in the whole bloody area, I reckon.
The water actually reminds me of Esperance, you know, that really crystal clear light blue water.
Yeah, it's so good. So we unhitched the camper trailer there, We've now driven off completely solo with our day setup that I will show you guys in the next few episodes of how we do the hybrid setup between the camper trailer. And right now we have just arrived to the Peron sand dunes to test the 300 for the first time on beach soft sand.
So I'm bringing the yokies down to an 18 PSI. The reason why is our car's already pretty light because we've dropped off the camper trailer. So we'll start off an 18 PSI. If we need to go down more, then we can, but we said we'd rather start a bit lower.
And given it's 35s
yeah.
in mud terrains, which we've never done before, we'd start 4 PSI less than we would on the D-Max. So let's go out there and give it a crack. I'm keen to see, how do you think it's going to go
I think it's going to be great. And I think it's going to be interesting seeing the Land Cruiser and the amount of power it has compared to our D-Max. So that will be pretty interesting to compare the two.
Well, this is a bit fancy.
I know.
Just put it straight into sand mode. Righto, let's get into it. The excitement is high. Let's go test out the 300.
All right, so I've locked the center diff. This is the first time that we're doing it, and putting it on that sand mode takes on both traction control and the other control, so it shouldn't bog down. So we should be good to go. I'm a little bit nervous. Let's give it a crack.
But we are later, so hopefully we won't get bogged.
Oh, this is going to be so interesting getting out. It's such Ooh, she's boggy.
Oh yeah, look at that up ahead.
Killing it! I didn't even have to try. That feels like cheating. That genuinely feels like cheating.
That's nice.
It's soft, but it just like curled through at first gear high range.
With the D-Max, we were more bumping along, whereas this just pushed through.
Well, with the confidence high after the entrance onto the beach, despite going through some soft sand, we decided to use that confidence, send it 2 kilometers up the beach and into the very soft sand dune to see how we could handle this.
It loves it.
Which way?
That was lucky. We almost just had a head on with someone. Luckily we both saw each other and we were going slow.
Otherwise that would have been a nasty crash.
This 300's killing it. This is the most insane thing. Like, I'm literally reversing like in the softest sand ever. Righto, round 2. The D-Max is never. Oh, this is wicked! Man, that killed it! That was its first gear. Holy shit! I've never felt a car so powerful.
Alright, ready for
And then there we got the sand dunes. Oh, baby, let's go! Oh, why am I so overexcited? That is wild.
No, I was saying the sheer power with this is the thing.
The time has come. It was really time to put the vehicle to the test and to see how it goes up the soft, steep sand dunes.
It's really neutral and sand mode, so it turns off those two things. Yeah?
So it is locked at the moment.
Yeah, it's all set up to go. Just put it in manual first.
I pushed that onto
with
me.
With sand dunes, always go straight up. Never turn. Okay? Because turning will make the car flip. And when you get to the top, don't be an idiot so it jumps over. Like, as you reach the top, slow down like 5% because you don't want to jump the car over. You know what I mean? But you don't want to let off too early because then you'll get bogged at the top.
Are you sure it's good for me to do this?
Yeah, 100%. Just actually, you know what? You won't. If I give you a thumbs up, you can send it because you won't jump it at the top. Okay?
Okay, so I'm incredibly nervous to go up this sand dune. It's pretty steep. Apparently at the top it's okay, so I can send it a bit more, but Sam, you were saying that if it drops off, you don't want to like lift the car up. So it's like a bit of a momentum of quick, but slowing down in time. Okay, Okay, and then I'm going to go into first. I'm going. Oh.
Stop! Hey, I said go straight up.
I tried to!
You're on an angle.
Well, that did not go to plan. With Maddie accidentally taking a 15-degree angle approach up the sand dune, that was all we needed to get bogged and put into a bit of a sticky situation.
Are the wheels straight?
Yeah.
Going down slowly.
It's all momentum. It's all momentum. So once you get going and out, you need left hand down slightly. Yeah, now go. And I need you to reverse all the way back in that position. Go.
Well, whilst this was all happening, and because it is a brand new four-wheel drive to us with all these new extra gadgets and things, we didn't actually realise that when Maddie was putting down her foot, we weren't getting all the power because of something that we didn't know at the time and later found out why.
Okay, go left a little bit.
Left. I'm not going. I am in reverse. It is. So what's happening now is I went on a slight angle to try go up because of the way the entry point was in, so I didn't go straight up, which you should never do. The transmission temperature's gone up.
Well guys, this is what we actually thought had happened at the time, but it turns out the transmission temperatures only went up about 10%, which is given normal when you're going up sand dunes, but there was actually a parking sensor brake button that you turn off on these, so when you have something in front of you or behind you, it doesn't reduce your throttle control.
So I'm putting it in neutral and then low to go back, so I can get some more power to go out.
Also at the time, this is what we thought what was happening. When you put it in 4 low, it actually automatically disengaged that button. With everything all figured out now, all we had to do was reverse the 300 back down the last bit of the sand dune, where I was going to hop in the front seat and not let the sand dune conquer our 300 that we spent so much time and money on, and get it up the sand dune.
Bit of a debrief on that one. We know where we went wrong, so I'm going to get in the car and give it a crack. Going to put it in 4 low this time. Baby! That only just made it. That was full berries, low. Wow, let's go.
And that's how it should have been done. That's why I had a little cry after, but he's celebrating. Well deserved celebration. So you can see that the mess I made and then the mess he made is nothing. So yeah, you really need to go up the right line and straight. And I should have said that I wasn't heaps confident in doing that one. Like I'm kind of newer to sand driving, so I'm used to the beach sand driving at the moment, but not the dunes yet, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, Mads, I actually think you did an absolute cracker of a job. It was just a slight 15-degree angle, and that's all it took for things to go a little bit pear-shaped, but you did bloody well, and don't forget, you're the one that did gunshot, not me. Well, with the 300 officially tested on beach driving and the sand dunes, it was safe to say that I think it was time to relax for the afternoon, drive along the beach and explore some of the Bay of Fires. We put over to the side, got our Adventure Kings 270-degree freestanding awning, chilled out by the beach, and reminisced on how well and more powerful this vehicle is, and absolutely blew our standards away.
Okay, and like, go, poke your tail out, go, ah! Do it again! Ah! Wait, I didn't get it. Can you do it once more? Ah! Thanks, that's the video. Alright, so excuse the crazy hair, but we've just been out all day spearfishing at the Bay of Fires, and Samuel has been busy as well. What have you got there?
Well, we've been out on 3 reefs. I've been spearfishing all day. I've got 1 bag here of bream. I've got another bag here of wrasse. And then this is the size of fish that we've been catching. So I got 1 48cm blue wrasse, which is like 2 centimeters of what they can actually grow down to in Tasmania. The bream was like 38 centimeters and the other wrasse was like 36 centimeters or something like that. Like had an absolute stonker of a day. So literally filleting it up back at campsite where we are at the moment so we can get it on for a feed.
So I'm in charge of the feed. So for the feed, I think I'll do some little fish bites so we can do some fish tacos. Might grill up some as well so we can really get that fish flavor to try it all out. But I'll be keen to see how much fish we can eat tonight because Sammy has caught a fair amount of fish. I find it pretty cool that we can go spearfishing and get our own food, then put it on the plate as well. It's pretty special to be able to have that right at our backyard. Even, you know, when you get your own fruits and veggies and everything, it just, I don't know, it's very holistic.
I just love, you know, the caveman feel of being able to provide for the family.
Oh God, we always have this ongoing joke that he's the hunter and I'm the gatherer. Yeah, nice, hey? Okay, so if anyone knows any good filleting knife brands that we should try and get, because we're always finding we're having to sharpen ours, we'll go and get a new one because they're just not quite cutting the fish that we need. And
to be fair, I do a good job either way. Look at that, I got like all the meat on.
Sometimes it butchers the fillets though. It might be the fileter though. But yeah, if you've got any good ones that you recommend, please let us know because I'm done with our fish being butchered at times.
Hey, I hardly butcher it. I've gotten really good. I don't know what Maddie's on about.
Ah, that rice
I
is a bit.
tingies and stuff down on Montague recently and I filleted those great when we had sashimi. Thank you very much.
Who cut the sashimi?
I filleted it.
Who cut the sashimi? Yeah. Yeah.
Alright guys, on next week's episode, we really start heating things up with the 300 and camper trailer, heading into the central parts of the Central Plateau of Tasmania and the west coast to do some four-wheel driving.
We're hard on the rock.
This is gonna get exciting.